Hi Moonies, welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. I'm your host, Victoria L. Johnson, and I'm here with Lizette, aka Sailor Xtasy.
Woo!
She's an amazing cosplayer. You may know her from the epic Sailor Mila J mashup that went viral. She's also a special ed teacher, a Zumba instructor, comic book geek, kick-ass mom, and of course a Sailor Moon fan. I'm super excited. As you can say, we're already wooing.
Yay!
Hey, welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is really exciting. Like I said before we started recording, like you are probably one of the first people I thought of when I wanted to do this podcast. Like you are a huge Sailor Moon fan. Like I can tell just like looking at you, like your Instagram page and just like following you all these years. Let's go back. What's your first memory of watching Sailor Moon?
Okay, so this is telling my age, but I always tell people I don't care about anyone knowing my age. I'm 41. So when I say I fell in love with Sailor Moon, it was my high school days. Because Sailor Moon first came out in 1992, but didn't come to the stateside until like the fall of 95. And I will never forget, I woke up and it was like early in the morning, getting ready for school, like high school. And I was a sophomore in high school, and I was turning to WPIX here in New York City, and it was 6:30 in the morning. And I've always been an anime person. Like I love Dragon Ball. For me, Dragon Ball and Ranma 1/2 were like my obsessions back then. Sorry, my son walked into the room and I told him, don't come in here.
No worries. We know, kick-ass mom.
Yeah, kick-ass mom, right. With a son who doesn't listen to instructions. Anyway, so, early morning, I get ready in the morning, I watch cartoons, and Rowan Warriors had just came on, and then right after Rowan Warriors was this cartoon, and had like a catchy theme song. I'm like, oh, okay, well, so this is definitely anime. I recognize the eyes always did it for me. And I seen this girl, and she's kind of klutzy, and she's a crybaby, and I'm like, oh, they animated my life. All right, I see where we're going here. And when I first seen the first like transformation, I was like, I'm in, I'm down, and it has just been my obsession since. Like when they repeated the episodes, I had my VCR ready with my VHS tape. I recorded, I recorded every episode. I made sure to pause the commercials in between, and I had every move memorized, and I had the theme song down, and I was printing out images from the internet on the school school lab, and that was it. I was hooked. Matter of fact, I put a makeshift Halloween costume together the very next year. I remember getting egged for it.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's cool. I'll never forget. But everyone like laughed at me, and like it's my first time. Like I guess you would say cosplaying, but for me it was a costume because it was Halloween. Right. I got fake hair and everything, and everyone knew who I was, and and that's just my fondest memory. Is just remember waking up and seeing it on TV and was like, that's me. I'm Serena. Serena is me, and it's been my obsession ever since.
Yeah. So you weren't literally egged. People were just like ranking you, like just like making fun.
No, I was egged.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
People were teasing me, and then I got egged. Yeah, because I was like, oh, in the name of the moon, I will punish you, and then I got egged. I'll never forget that.
Such lames.
Yeah, but you know what? I got the last laugh. I still got my Sailor Moon themed wedding.
There you go.
Nobody's egging me now. Like everyone is egging me on, if anything.
Right.
I'm sorry, no more egg puns. I'll be good.
No. I mean, I'm just happy you got recognized. I dressed up as Sailor Moon one Halloween, and everyone's like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "How do you not know Sailor Moon? What was your childhood?"
Yeah, like people. Really I think as when Sailor Moon came on to like Toonami, and I was already in my early 20s when that happened. It was everyone started falling in love with Sailor Moon all over again. Right. And they were like the lost episodes. I was like, oh, okay, the lost episodes. But I had been seeing those episodes because I had VHS tapes straight from Japan. Like I had a hookup when I seen it straight Japanese, and then I got it subtitled, and I had the whole collection. So I had when Sailor Moon had ended, and I believe in 1997, that's when it ended. I had got the VHS tapes maybe about 2 or 3 years later, and I had finished the series already. So when it came on Toonami, I was like, oh, I already seen this, you know.
Wow.
And the fact that everyone really started falling in love with it again just kept making it relevant. So, but definitely, I have to say, that one of my first fondest memories is I remember, you know, relating to the Serena, aka Usagi character, and definitely knowing that, hey, I am definitely like this. I am somebody who will fight for their friends and definitely will not back down. And at the same time, I am a huge crybaby. I cry at the drop of a dime. I fall on the floor. I am in tears. And it's always been my dream. When I saw the princess dress, I knew that was my wedding dress immediately. From 16 years old, I was like, nope, that is going to be my wedding dress. And sure enough, it is sitting in my closet right now. And it was my wedding dress. I had a whole Sailor Moon themed wedding. I'm divorced now, but I wasted the dream. But no, it was a dream come true. And I honestly can't be mad. I got my royal court. Like, my best friend, my best friend was always my she's my Mercury and my Venus. She's literally a Virgo and a Libra. And she was born, she was born in September. She's born on the cusp. The 21st of September, actually. So, you know, and she definitely was my Mercury because she's really smart and everything. And she's definitely my Venus because she is my soldier. And, you know, I have a friend who's a Mars character, who's an Aries. And I have a friend of mine who's like Jupiter, mom-like, you know, it's still boy crazy. And, you know, so the only thing is I didn't have my little Rainy, but I love my son, so it's okay because God knew I can't have girls.
Yeah. It's funny how that works out because I feel like the more like you're like you would just like go like wild, I think, with a girl.
Yeah, I probably would. Like, I mean, I cosplay with my son. Now I have to. He's 8 now, but when he was younger, there was no permission. You're getting dressed up, and like for the wedding, I put him in a white tux, and I wanted to put white cat ears, but his father said no.
Was he gonna be like Artemis?
Yeah, he was. He was gonna be my Artemis, and he was my Artemis. He actually walked down the aisle with my best friend, who was dressed, who was also my maid of honor. She was dressed as Venus.
Oh, that's awesome.
And and they walked down together. So I definitely got a picture of that, and I was like very happy about that.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that is definitely the dream. I'm not saying I do. I may or may not have a Pinterest board of like my own Sailor Moon themed wedding ideas.
And there's nothing, you know what? And I tell everyone, please go for it. Go for your dream. You know, if you can't afford it, obviously I would love to have a castle and a horse, and I couldn't afford all that. I was happy with what I got. I had a friend make a makeshift cake with all the sailor symbols going around it. You know, the person who was my event planner, who I adore, she's like one of my closest friends. She really brought my vision to life, and I was like so happy about it. And like I said, Sailor Moon is everything. I have a tattoo on my back of the silver imperial crystal sitting in a lotus flower. I need to add to it. You know, I've just been too chicken to
what
get it done.
Add? Yeah.
I want to add the sailor symbols around it. So like the moon, cool. And I want to put all the planet symbols, the inner senshi, and then I'm gonna add out the outer senshi around it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I definitely Sailor Moon is life.
Yeah. So I'm guessing Usagi's your favorite scout.
Yes. Usagi will always be my favorite. Like I said, me and her are relatable. We're both water signs. And I feel like a princess every day. So why not? I wish you could see my bedroom right now. I'm looking at all the Sailor Moon paraphernalia. I'm like, I need help.
Ooh, we're getting to that. How did you get into cosplay?
Story time. So
my favorite.
I know, right? In undergrad, I didn't want to I didn't want anything to take away from my focus from finishing school. And once I did finish school, my friend begged me. He was like, please come. You are the only person I know who loves anime as much as me. Please come with me to this anime convention. What's the convention? He said, just come. I said, all right, fine. I finished school. I have time to have fun now. So I traveled down to North Carolina to Animazement, which was my very first convention. And I didn't think much of it. I heard about conventions. I guess I said, I don't know. It's an anime convention. I really don't have anything anime related. Let me throw something together. So luckily for me, like I said, I love Halloween. Mm-hmm. I had a black robe. And I had like a black wig, and I was like, you know what? Let me dress like a black mage. Whatever. All right, fine. I put everything on, and when I walked into the convention, at that time it was like at a lobby in the hotel. Mm-hmm. I was blown away by people dressed as my favorite anime characters. So not only did I have people dressed as Sailor Moon, I had people dressed at that time was Naruto was the big one, and Bleach was the big one, and my mouth hit the floor, and I was like, I need to do this. This is what I want to do. And when I seen the masquerade that Saturday night, I like people putting on skits and everything like that. But what won was a group who was dressed from all the characters from Darkstalkers, and I'll never forget that. And I was like, I need to do this. So I told my friends about it. They were like, oh yeah, we've been going to conventions for a while. We just didn't tell you because you were in school. I'm like, I hate you all. But I
doing this whole time, yeah.
Right, but I thank you because I needed to focus on school. Mm-hmm. So that summer, so that was the summer of 2005. In 2000, so that was 2005. In 2000, that summer, I had went to Otakon. It was my first time being at Otakon, and I remember dressing up as Naminé from Kingdom Hearts 2. And that at that time it was only one big cosplay during a 3-day or 4-day convention. I didn't go anything above that. And then a few years down the line, I met my seamstress, Terry Ann, aka Plushy Kawaii. Gotta shout her out. Yeah. I met her in 2010, and because I was starting to really step my game up. I'm like, I can't buy costumes because I am a plus size girl. I am plus size in the right areas. So I couldn't fit certain costumes from China because their idea of an extra large is really a United States medium. Oh yeah, and that wasn't going over my boobs. So I met my seamstress, and she designed one of my first commissioned cosplays, which is Fran from Final Fantasy 12. And that was it. Like, I was like, you know what, every time I get paid, you just getting my paycheck, and that we just take off from there. It went from just having one cosplay for a 3-day convention to having 2 cosplays for a 3-day convention, and then now it's a new cosplay a day. And if it's not a new cosplay a day, it's a revamped cosplay, a brand new debut. This is gonna get me my most attention cosplay, and a nice chill casual I can just put on the t-shirt and run out the door cosplay on the last day of a convention. That's how I plan everything out. But that's basically how it took off. I enjoy taking pictures. I've always used to be a shy person. I used to be somebody who didn't talk to people a lot and didn't like to socialize, and I couldn't club and I couldn't be in large crowds. When I hit like 25, 26, light bulb went off, and I was like, you know what? I like attention and I love it, and I ain't gonna lie about it. I love taking photos, and I love taking pictures, and I love making people happy, and that is basically it. So that's what got me into cosplay, just seeing the smiles and seeing how excited people get, and now putting a twist on it, now that I have locks down in my behind, I can't wear wigs, so now I get to use my locks in my cosplay, and I get even more attention because it's not a black version but a dope version, and I'm like, yes, that's what I'm here for. And I'm still not, and I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I don't see myself stopping anytime.
Yeah, nor should you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I loved your Storm cosplay I saw, and with the dreads, it was so cool.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm trying with these. Like I said, they're long. I can't wear wigs, so I do whatever I possibly can.
I hear you. How did you come up with the name Sailor Xtasy?
Ooh,
Story time.
Another story time. So this is early 2000. I won't front. At a point in my life, I was not working, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sexy. I could probably be a stripper. Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, well, you are very sexy, and you would love Sailor Moon. So why don't you just be Sailor Xtasy? Because, you know, you're very sexy, like ecstasy. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
And it was my dating myself, my AOL screen handle, my Black Planet handle, my MySpace handle.
At least yours held up over time.
Exactly. And you know, now it's my when I decided to be a cosplayer, I was like, this is gonna be my handle. It's gonna be Sailor Xtasy.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, that was a good story. That was good. Yeah, good, nice friends. Shout out to that friend.
I didn't end up stripping. Let me make that perfectly clear. I am an educator. But if I did, that would have been my coming now to the stage, Sailor Xtasy.
Yeah. Oh man, now I'm mad there's not a Sailor Moon themed strip club.
Listen,
that would be a cool idea.
I took a pole dancing class, and I had like a beautiful I have a Sailor Moon workout shirt that I love. This is Moon Prison Power, and I'm just like, yeah, this is definitely happening. Yes. Pole dancing is a lot of upper body strength. I will say that. Yeah,
definitely, and bruises on your thighs.
Very much so.
Yeah. And then so I think I learned about you through the Sailor Milage. How did that idea come about?
Well, it wasn't my idea. I will say that. I will say the person that unfortunately we're no longer talking to each other at this moment, you know, anymore, which is sadness, but hey, it happens. But it was their idea, and of course, you know, when you cosplay with a group, it was my first time, and I was like really excited, and I'm like, this is like squad goals. This is all I ever wanted, because I've always been an individual. I've never been part of a squad, and you know, and the person who I linked up with, you know, not very outgoing, but I am the outgoing one, which is why she kind of put me as the face of everything, which, you know, I didn't mind. I'm very humble about the whole experience. When people walk up to me now, even when they mention it, I'm like, yep, that was me, you know, and I just take it with a grain of salt. But that, you know, Black Panther had just came out, you know, had been a really big deal. I remember the year before, in 2017, before the movie came out, I had did Shuri, and the person who was my friend, she had did Madam Slay. So, you know, we were doing big Black Panther cosplay shoots, and so the movie had just came out, and she thought about putting the idea of Sailor Soldiers and the Dora Milaje and putting it together. And of course, I was the face because I'm Sailor Moon, duh. And I had the long princess gown part of the cosplay, and everybody else was the soldiers around me. And that's how it came about. And it, you know, and debuting it at BlurCon was such a huge deal, because it was our first time being there, and you know, the reception was just overwhelming. It was a beautiful mixture of putting together African culture, comic book culture, and then putting a Japanese culture and putting it all together and mashing it up into one. Why not? You know, we don't have much representation as African Americans in media, especially through comic books and anime. So to do a mashup like that, like, I'm forever grateful for what she did and what she inspired, and because of that, like, you know, everybody has like really recognized me more because of it. And again, I take it with a grain of salt. I think it's huge, and I'm forever grateful. But overall, I mean, that was pretty much how the idea came about. It was just like, let's do Dora Milaje Sailor Scouts. I'm like, all right, I'm down. I am always down to do Sailor whatever.
Yes, same here. That's what I always say. Like, whatever Sailor Moon related things you have in mind, count me in.
Exactly. And I've done so many different Sailor kind of mashups. Like, I have my partner, aka my manager, which I don't know how that happened. He was like, stop doing Sailor cosplays. I was like, never.
Right.
There will be some more Sailor cosplays. As long as I look cute and adorable, they will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, the possibilities are just endless.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. What's been your favorite cosplay of yours so far?
Definitely has to be Lion.
Mm.
From Steven Universe, because
Nice.
that was the first time I ever went viral. So Sailor
Mm.
Melage was the second time I went viral, but Lion from Steven Universe is the first time I went viral. Again, my beautiful seamstress, Plushy Kawaii.
Yeah.
She I told her my idea. I said I wanted to look like, I said I want a lion, but I wanted to be like a nice, cute little puffy dress. Just add a tail and some ears, and I want to wear a pink afro. And she was down for it, and so we got it done. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna dress my son up as Steven. And I was like, that's easy. Get some blue shorts. Get a Steven Universe shirt. He was 4 at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
he can't wear flip flops. I was too scared for him to be like walking around with flip flops on. So I said, I'll put red sneakers on him.
Mm-hmm.
And we just took some, we went to, at that time it was Liberty City. And I was like, you know what, let's try it. This is first time going to a convention like this, and my son is on the spectrum. So I need small. Like I
Mm-hmm.
want, at some point, I want to take him to New York Comic Con when he's ready.
Right.
But right now, I'll take him to small conventions just to see how he handles it. And I loved it. A lion definitely is one of my top ones. Like I said, I went viral. Cartoon Network posted me up for their Halloween contest. We came
Oh,
in third place,
that's awesome.
and I found out because my phone started blowing up. Like when my students were going nuts when I came back to work. So this happened
Oh.
on a Friday. When I came back to work Monday, oh my god, everybody and their mother lost it. They were like, "You're on the Cartoon Network website." I'm like,
Oh my
"Yeah, I am."
god.
I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. I cosplay." So like I always kept it a secret from my students because again I didn't want them to like know that I do this, and now
Yeah.
it's like my segue into like, by the way, I'm your teacher this year, and by the way, you see that picture of Cartoon Network and Lion, that's me.
That's
So
cool.
the lion would be one of my coolest cosplays, but
Mm-hmm.
of course Chun Li, my Nicki Minaj
Mm.
Chun Li mashup.
Yes.
I adore it so much. I had, like I said, I told my seamstress, I was like, I want to be Chun Li. I have done Chun Li before, but of course it was store bought, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to do my hair at the time. I
Mm.
didn't use my hair as I got a wig and I couldn't even style it, or the wig couldn't even fit on my head. And so, I did Chun Li, and it was cute and everything like that. All right, fine. That was at New York Comic Con many moons ago. And I was like, you know what? It's time to redo Chun Li. I want to do Chun Li, but I want to do black and gold Chun Li, and I wanted to look more like a Nicki Minaj version. So like I had like bamboo earrings that said Chun Li on the side, and I just held myself like as a hip hop artist, like like Nicki Minaj, but I'm like
Right.
Nicki Minaj Chun Li because she came out with the song. Had nothing
Mm-hmm.
to do with Chun Li, but whatever.
I know.
This time I used my own locks, as the two big buttons on top of my
Mm-hmm.
head, and I'm so happy that I did, cause I killed it. Like everybody was stopping me, and I adored it. And it is another picture that has gone viral because I am also an avid kickboxer. And so
Mm.
when my friend took the photo, he was like, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "You know what? I want to kick." And
Yeah.
he caught it,
Chun Li.
and right, and my leg
Mm-hmm.
went up so high, and I've gotten so many props for it. Like, oh my god, do you see her thighs? Do you see that kick?
Yes.
And then what kills me is, like I said, I have my partner, my manager. He
Mm-hmm.
had just started like making me start weightlifting. Like I just started getting into it. So to see like the muscle tone on my legs, I was like, I love this
Mm-hmm.
so much. So I have to say, Lion and Chun Li are definitely my top tier cosplays, and I adore them.
Yeah. Chun Li was also really cool. I saw the
Thank you.
pictures.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
I love the persona that goes along with it too. Like I just turn into a completely different person when I'm wearing it.
Oh, that's cool. Do
Yeah.
you feel like more confident, like more just like I can kick all y'all? Acids.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes, definitely. And if this damn pandemic didn't happen at BlurredCon, I was gonna do so it was supposed to be a mashup of her battle outfit and her regular classic outfit. And I didn't want to do the battle outfit all the way because I felt a certain kind of way about my body. Like, I still, I have a mom body. I'm pretty thick, and I was feeling a certain kind of way. And I had finally started lose. So since that last time I took that Chun-Li picture, and at the beginning of this year, I had lost so much weight, and I was like, oh God, I want to do the battle outfit, which is like a really high split, more sexy, back out. I was ready for it, and then the pandemic happened, and then I gained weight, and now we're here again.
Well, I have not seen a cosplay picture of you where you did not look amazing and fly. So, I say either way, you should do it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But
yeah,
BlurredCon next year, I'm definitely gonna knock it out the park. I know that for sure.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for like all the conventions next year.
So am I. This pandemic has me in this house. Like, all right. Besides, in between the remote teaching and teaching my son, I'm like, what can I order from Amazon today? So when I say I have a stockpile of outfits in this house, it's not even funny of how many cosplays I created from Amazon, because I can't see my seamstress sister because COVID. So I was like, Amazon is my best friend.
Right.
So I've been Amazoning it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing right, and there's nothing wrong with it. I ordered costumes. I put stuff together, just putting different outfits together, and next year I'm definitely going to be killing it because I'm bored. I was bored in the house. I was in the house bored. I downloaded TikTok and it got dangerous. It's getting dangerous now.
Oh no! Wait, how's it getting dangerous?
TikTok. Dangerously. No, it's okay. Dangerously addicting. Let's put it like that. Yeah. It's getting dangerously addicting. At first, I started like, all right, I can do this for my cosplays, and then I was doing dance challenges, and then now, in the middle of all of this, and I'm a teacher. I've been posting up my rants about being a teacher, and I love the teachers on TikTok. And I'm like, you know what? If I wanted the kids to find me, I probably could post up one of my TikToks. But I said, you know what? Maybe at the end of the school year, I might do that. Yeah. So they're like, here, you want to see me do the WAP dance? Because it's hilarious, right?
Oh, that's awesome. It's cool that you share that with your students, after.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I try. Like, my former students are still, like, I'm friends with some of my former students. The same ones who saw me go viral with Cartoon Network. Like, now they're in their senior year of college.
Wow.
And they still egg me on. I'm like, you guys, I'm an old lady. They're like, you were just as young as us. Please stop. I'm like, okay, all right. If you think I'm 21, sure, let's go with that.
Oh, to be 21 again. But
well, next year is my double 21, so there's that.
Oh, that's true. There you go.
There you go. So, yeah, there you go.
I like it. How has teaching been with this pandemic?
Challenging.
Yeah.
And if we were able to put a picture up right now, I would probably put up a gift of Unikitty raging out. That's exactly how I feel. I'm like this adorable, cute thing, and I rage out when technology doesn't want to work. Like yesterday, I was in the middle of annotating in my class, and my co-teacher was teaching, and my computer decided to freeze up on me, and everything shut down. And I was texting him, and I'm like, I hate technology. And so you have good days and you have bad days. I would say in the spring, I was kind of sad because I had just started like really getting, I already got to know the students and everything like that. And then when everything shut down, those students who I was really trying to reach, because everyone's home is different. Some of them would log on, some of them would not log on, but for those who really could get on and were really cared about their education and asked questions and wanted to make sure their work was done, to see that growth in them was like amazing. And like now we have to start the beginning of this year. Like in New York City, we're doing like a blended learning kind of thing. Well, some go into the schools, but some, like myself, like I'm home. I still don't feel safe enough to be out in public like that and traveling and being out all day. Like, I don't feel safe that way. And I won't send my son into that kind of situation, because I don't, what's going to happen if my child gets sick or if I get sick. Like, you know, anything could happen to any one of us. Granted, I think we both have strong immune systems, but it's, you know, I don't want to take those kind of chances. And, you know, again, meeting new students and trying to get them to open up, and it's this, like, maybe this is the third week of schooling and cameras are still not on. I have no idea what some of my students look like. I'm like, please just send me a picture. That's, I just want to see what you look like. Yeah. Today I bribed them. I was like, I will give you points for participation in ELA, because me and the teacher are tired of talking, because I'm a ELA teacher. I'm a special education teacher. But my content is social studies and ELA, so I teach ELA, and to get students to want to read aloud, even in person, is a lot. So imagine doing it online. It takes a lot for them. But today they were like killing it today. I'm happy that we have more resources to like get kids engaged, so we're not just sitting there talking to. I feel like I have a Ouija board in front of me, like, hello. Are you there? Anybody out there? And I'm glad you get the joke, because they also got the joke, and I'm like, okay, you laughed. All right, I know you're there. So they're coming together. Like I said, it's only the third week of school. It's challenging. Like I said, at times it can be challenging. Today happened to be a good technology day, and got my kids to, you know, open up a little bit more and be a little bit more understanding. And I'm starting to see who are my struggling students and who are my students who's going to need more support. So, and it's hard, especially as a special educator. You know, you have to make sure that you're in compliance. But because New York City has a great shortage of teachers, there's a lot on our plate. And, you know, we're not going to be able to get to everybody, which is really unfortunate. Like, even my own son, like, he didn't have everything for his accommodations. Like, he's supposed to have a second teacher, and he didn't. And I was getting ready to like run up to the school and be like, yo, you gotta find a way. And sure enough, now he has the second teacher in the classroom to like to help him if he was struggling. And like, not everyone has, like, my son is fortunate. My son has me. I'm a special educator. I can modify his work. I can teach him in a way that he'll be able to understand it. And I am forever grateful to have that skill, but not everybody has those skills. So I really was fighting for those other students who were like, hey, these children also need a second teacher, not just that. So there's a lot going on with this remote learning. It has good days and it has bad days. But in the end, you know, I really, even though I joked about it and I did have like a panic attack about it, like in the beginning of this year, I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'd rather quit. But honestly and truly, I can't see myself being anything other than an educator. Whether I'm teaching exercise or I'm teaching academics, I really love being a teacher. It is my passion.
Yeah, well, it seems you're not only a kick-ass mom, you're a kick-ass educator, and these kids are so lucky to have you.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the fact that you're willing to like fight for them to get a second teacher too, and it's like, hey, like they need stuff, like, you know, not just like, you know, your son. It's like, no, like these other kids need this too.
Exactly.
Some people would have just been like, well, my kid's good, you know.
Right. And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, you know, like I said, I like his general education teacher. Like, I love her. I was like, you know, no fault to her, but she's not gonna know how to modify the work to work with my child. So I need someone who's going to work with my child to make sure that his needs are being met, but not only my child, but the other like 12 kids that are in the class as well. So I'm definitely a big advocate, especially I've been working with children with special needs since I was 24 as a substitute, and now I became a full-time educator. And having a son who's also special needs, autistic, I'm like, yeah, no, these are my children. These will always be my children, and I will fight tooth and nail for anybody. This is what I said. I have so many qualities of Usagi. It's not even funny. Not only, like I said, fighting, like, I'm very passionate. I do fight for my friends. I fight for my children. My students are my children. Regardless, I have one biological one. The rest of them are just extensions of my love and passion for them.
Yeah, it's definitely Usagi-like.
Thank you.
For sure. Yeah. I know. It's always like the best compliment when someone says you're like Sailor Moon. Or it's like
basically.
yeah.
I'm like, thank you. Yeah. I try.
That's great. And I love that you're a comic book fan too.
Yes.
Or comic book geek, I should say. If you could have a crossover between a comic book character and Sailor Moon, what would you choose?
Wonder Woman and Sailor Moon, definitely.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Like, first of all, Princess Diana. Diana is one of the identities of the moon.
Right.
Artemis.
That's a good point.
Right. Artemis is also known as Diana.
Right.
But to see, the same qualities of one woman I see in Sailor Moon. Oh, I definitely love that as a crossover. Just to see it, like a brave Amazon warrior with the princess and the deity of the moon. Oh, that'd be amazing. I'm big into Greek mythology too, so yeah, I definitely would love to see something like that. I'm a big DC. DC gets a lot of flack, but I am a huge DC Comics fan, and I try to tell people, don't forget the live action movies.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm into DC Comics is, one, growing up, I remember reading more DC Comics than anything else. Two, I didn't really start getting into Marvel until like later on in my life, before Iron Man. Like, I knew of Marvel comics because I was like in X-Men cartoons.
Right. Spider-Man.
But Spider-Man, but that was basically it. I only knew Spider-Man and X-Men. I didn't know about anything else. Iron Man I knew from the cartoon. I am Iron Man. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. But growing up though, it was all about DC. I know who Superman was. I know who Batman was. I know who Wonder Woman was. I know who the Justice League. I know who the Wonder Twin Powers. And right, exactly. And I adored, I related more to DC Comics than I did to Marvel Comics. I remember reading more about like the Teen Titans and reading the different storylines, and definitely knowing and loving the history behind Wonder Woman, like the lasso of truth. Wonder Woman was created by the guy who created the lie detector. Like, oh my god! And there's some other things too, like bondage, but we're gonna talk about that. But but like, I related more to DC Comics than I did with Marvel Comics. Now, granted, Marvel has the monopoly and the capitalization because they have Disney behind them with their movies, and that took off from there. And I'm like, oh yes, I am loving where this is going. But at the same time, DC Comics and their animated studio, oh my god, the animated studio is doing amazing things right now. Yeah. And I love Teen Titans. Like, just before I got on with you, I was watching Teen Titans Go with my son. I know that gets a lot of flack, but I'm like, I love Teen Titans Go because whoever's doing the writers definitely have nostalgic for the 80s and 90s, because there's a lot of jokes in there that my son does not understand, but I get, which is totally fine.
That's great.
But yeah, so that's me. A big comic geek. Like, usually when like Comic-Con comes around, that's usually when I start doing more comic cosplays, and I find myself doing more DC cosplays. Like, I've done Static Shock. I've done a Sailor Wonder Woman mashup. Awesome. I've also done a Sailor. Yes, I've also done a Sailor Harley Quinn mashup.
That's awesome.
I love my Sailor Quinn. I also had a mallet that was the same. I'm only 5 feet. I am 5 feet nothing, and I had a mallet that was 5 feet too. So imagine carrying that around New York City. Oh my god! It was the same year that I was lying. I remember the very next day I went into the city with that giant mallet, and people were stopping me, and I'm like, yes,
feel the power.
And I was like, people get it. They were like, Sailor Harley, and I was like, yes, Sailor Harley. So
I love it.
That was cool.
That is cool. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, growing up, if you would have told me that I would care more about Marvel movies like now, I would have been like, what? Because like, same thing. Like, I grew up on Teen Titans, I grew up on Justice League, like grew up on Super Friends, and just loved Batman, loved Wonder Woman, loved like the Bat Family, and I just always found it interesting. But I did also love like Spider-Man and his amazing friends and X-Men, but I just was always enamored with the DC universe. But like you said, like, the movies have switched things for a lot of newcomers. But I love MCU. I love DC animated movies. And there's space for everybody. And I think Teen Titans Go is getting it's getting more love nowadays. I'm starting to realize people like are coming around like, oh, it actually was pretty good. I wasn't ready. I think people are just so
they
put off by
remembering
how
like,
different it was from
right,
Teen
like
Titans.
the 2003 series. They were like, you know,
right,
when that first came out, like around that time, that's when Justice League had just ended, and like they put this new series on. The Justice League, the Timverse, because that's what it's called. It's the Timverse because it goes back to the 1990s. With the Batman animated series. So if you remember all of, and like that for me, it was like my late teens to my early 20s, and remembering 10 years of all of that, I was like, wow, that's amazing. They built a whole universe based on this. That's amazing. And you know, people were just enamored with the Teen Titans, which is like anime style, and but still based on the comic books, which is like how I got into the Teen Titan comic books, is because of the animated series. I'm like, I want to know the real story behind Terra. And when I found out, I was like, oh my god, can you do that? And oh, it's a comic book, I guess you can. And so people were still stuck on that, and I used to be the same way. When Teen Titans came out in 2013, I was like, what is this garbage? I'm not watching this. This is horrible. This is trash. Then I watched one episode. I'll never forget the one where Raven finally showed her legs and Lady Legacy, and I was like, this shit is hilarious. Like, I can't now. Then I caught up, and like now it's like my obsession. Like this week they just had the Halloween episode, and Beetlejuice was on. I squealed. My son was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I said, one day mommy's going to sit you down and I'm going to show you Beetlejuice. Yeah. And if you get scared, I totally understand that. But Beetlejuice was my movie growing up. Are you kidding me? And then, of course, I like the Night Begins to Shine saga series. Oh my God. I kicked my son out the room because I am a sucker for the 80s. And the fact that Cyborg is such a big 80s geek, I'm like, oh my God, yes. And that's actually one of my it's on my to-do list, is to do the Night Begins to Shine Raven as one of my cosplays. And I hope one day, fingers crossed, I can do squad goals again, and I can have a whole squad of Night Begins to Shine Teen Titan Go cosplayers.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
I think it'd be really dope.
Yeah, it would be really dope. I hope I get to see it.
Me too.
Yeah. You were talking about your Sailor Moon collection too. So what's your most prized possession in your Sailor Moon collection?
What is my most prized collection? Besides my wedding dress?
Oh, true.
I paid $1,000 for that thing, and I'm gonna wear it everywhere and anywhere.
As you should. I would too.
I want to say the most prized possession for me personally is meeting the original voice actress of Sailor Moon in Amazement and getting a picture with her.
Oh, that is cool. Was this Terry Hawks or Linda?
No, Japanese.
Oh, wow. So you really got like the original voice.
Yes, the original voice. Yes. And I didn't speak much Japanese, and I was very limited. And I think my friend was with me. Was he with me? Yes, he was. And he translated everything for me. And I just told her, thank you so much for voicing one of my iconic characters. And I got a hug, and I got a picture. And I definitely have to say that is my most prized possession, is that picture. Yeah. And I have it on my hard drive. I definitely have to make sure that I pull it off and like post it up one day, because I need people to see me with it, because I honestly, like, I cried because I was like, again, crybaby. But that definitely is one of my most prized possessions. That, and I still have the original Princess Serenity from the dolls that Bandai came out with. I still have mine.
Oh, nice. I love that.
Yes.
That's so cool. And then what advice do you have for someone who wants to cosplay, or wants to become a teacher, or wants to throw a Sailor Moon wedding? A lot of stuff.
I know. My advice to anybody who wants to cosplay is go ahead and do it. Just do it. I'm still inspiring people to cosplay, and I think that's really dope. They're like, if you can do it, and you're a mom and you're a teacher and you're not embarrassed to be out here, of course I'm not embarrassed to be. I go on the train with my cosplays. I want someone to say something to me, you know. It went from, like I said, I got teased for dressing up to like now people know me because I dress up. Hello. Do it. Totally do it. You don't have to be an attention hog like I am, and I will admit it, I am an attention hog. I love attention because I didn't get much growing up, and I'm still coming out of my shell for a lot of things. But you can totally do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. You worried about being called the N-word on the internet? Guess what? They're on the internet. They can't harm you. They can't hurt you. You worried about people calling you fat? Tell them to look themselves in the mirror because I'm beautiful. I'm fat and I'm beautiful, but you can't fix ugly. Yeah. Do it. Are you worried about what people are going to think because you don't look you don't look like a traditional Japanese person? Well, they're not white neither, so there's that. Do it. Be confident in who you are, and you will succeed no matter what. So that's my advice about anyone who wants to be a cosplayer. My advice about anyone being a teacher, again, same as being a cosplayer, do it. You got to have a lot of passion, especially like I said, right now. If it wasn't for the fact that there's a desperate need of teachers right now, I like it. It's hard, but I honestly don't see myself doing anything else with my life. I actually contemplated working another job, and I'm like, nah, I can't. I gotta be an educator. I gotta be a teacher. Like it's been my passion since I was 4. What 4-year-old who like, why do you want to be a teacher? Paid holidays and weekends off guaranteed. I knew what I was talking about at 4 years old, and here I am at 41, and now I'm a teacher. Do it. If you have a passion working with children, you got the patience of a saint, because you gotta have the patience of a saint to deal with people. Do it. Be a teacher. And my advice to anybody who wants to have a Sailor Moon wedding, again, do it. I had a kick-ass team, and I'm so grateful for bringing my vision to life. It may not have been perfect, but everything worked out the way it did. I'm so grateful that I have met the people I have met in my life, and I was really dope. Like, me and my ex-husband, we may not be together, but I'm so happy that he went along with my idea because he had no choice. But mainly because of the fact when we're dating, he didn't know how big of a Sailor Moon fan I was, and he sent me a picture of like the Sailor Moon dress with a sword, and I was like, how did you know? Who cares? Yes, I'll marry you. Yeah. So he went along with the idea, and I'm like so forever grateful, and I am, I'm so blessed. So I would just say, if you have a vision, go for your dream. If your passion is to have a Star Wars wedding, have a Star Wars wedding. Your passion is to have a DC comic wedding, go for it. My passion was to be the Moon Princess for a day, and I got to live out my dream, and I was like so happy. And like I said, the dress sits in my closet. I'm waiting. I would love to do a photo shoot in the castle and really show it off for how beautiful and magnificent it is. I gotta fit back into that dress though one day. But go ahead and do it. You can sit there and you can spend thousands of dollars, or you could spend hundreds of dollars. As long as it's your dream and make your dream come true, go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, that is great advice. I completely agree, and I think this kind of leads into my next question. Just like Sailor Moon had her Sailor Moon says phrase at the end of every episode, what would your phrase be? So Sailor Xtasy says,
Sailor Xtasy says, live your dreams and don't be scared. Do what you want and follow your heart, because if you don't, you only live with regret. And that's what Sailor Xtasy says.
I love it. It's so true.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what is next for you, and where can people find you?
Who knows? In my house.
Where do you want people to find you?
In my house. No. We don't. I know, right? We don't know how long this pandemic is going to be, unfortunately. Doesn't help that we don't have great leadership. That's besides the point. To find me, you can find me on Instagram as Sailor Xtasy, and you can find me on Facebook as Sailor Xtasy Cosplay, and on Twitter as Sailor Xtasy. I don't have much content coming up, but I did just finish doing a photo shoot for another cosplay I put together that I was really proud of, and I got a free photo shoot out of it. I was like, yay.
Nice.
So I'm still doing things. It's spooky season. So, I definitely have a Halloween costume coming up. I'm about to brave the elements and go to a Halloween party. So pray for me. But I can't take it inside this house anymore.
No,
but you'll definitely see. I don't know, right? You'll definitely. I'll make sure I'm safe. Mask. Always wearing my mask.
Yes.
But definitely you can still check out. I've done things this year. I'm still doing things, and I will continue doing things until we are able to be together again, folks.
I look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
Yay! Done. We survived.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yay!
This was awesome. I'm so happy I got to hear your story times and all your amazing things that you have going on. Even if these times are a little hard.
Yeah, these are trying times. But thank you again for having me, and thank you for having such a wonderful podcast and connecting people who have a common love, which is a love of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy I'm able to do it. I'm like every day I'm like I really just get to talk about Sailor Moon every day to people.
And that's awesome. Like the best job ever. I mean, that's how I connected. Believe it or not, like I said, in this day and age, Sailor Moon came out in 1992. And, now we have Crystal. We're getting ready for the new movie that's going to come out next year. Yes. The Eternal movie next year, which is like season 4 of the new series.
Yeah.
And I have a seventh grader who literally was like, Sailor Moon is one of her favorite animes. And when she seen my shirt, I came on to the classroom and she saw my Sailor Moon shirt. She was like, I was like, yeah, I'm with you. We're kindred spirits. This is how you get an easy A from me.
Right? Oh my god, that would totally get me. Yeah, that's the one thing I was wondering, because I always hope that Sailor Moon Crystal at least brought on new fans, younger fans, because that's really what I feel like I don't see a lot, but I'm also not around a lot of kids. But so I'm glad. That makes me happy.
It makes me happy too. Like I said, it's nice to see that I have kids who are still fans of, it's now considered a classic anime, and I'm really happy that kids are into the classic anime and discovering it now on Hulu. So, and I'm more than happy to share. I always share my Sailor stories with them. Like, sit down, children. I have a tale to tell.
Wait, what do you mean by Sailor stories? Like watching it back in the day?
Yeah, like watching it back in the day, or they're sitting there telling me they watched with their mom. Their mom used to be huge fans, and they put them onto it. And then when they discovered that I'm a huge fan, they're like, "Oh my god, you're my favorite teacher." I'm like, "I know, I know."
I love it. Sailor Moon's just connecting teachers, students, friends.
Yes,
love it.
Everything.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll wrap up. Once again, this is a Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and pretty much every podcast streaming platform. And you can find us on Twitter at Moonies Club and Instagram at Moonies_Club. And thanks for listening.
Have a great day.